What's up, guys? So I've been using the Pixel 7 Pro for about 4 months, so I want to do an updated video on this device here. And I've been using this phone quite a bit because I've been posting filming my YouTube shorts with this phone. I tried to film it with the iPhone, then I tried to film it with the Galaxy. It just needed too much color correction, and I really was not happy with how the video was coming out, which is surprising because you don't think of Pixel devices when you're talking about smartphone video. It's usually iPhone, Galaxy phones, right? But for some reason, I just really like how the Pixel video looks. Yeah, it's just a personal thing for me. I just like the way it comes out in the YouTube shorts. And yeah, I've just been using this phone a lot because of that. And this has just been a fantastic experience, guys. So that's one of the first things we need to touch on is the camera experience is still my favorite on any phone. Like if I'm going anywhere and I know I'm going to take a lot of photos, I definitely like to have the Pixel with me here. And Google did such a great job this year. So it has a 50 megapixel still, a 48 megapixel telephoto lens, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 4K 60 video, 10.8 megapixel ultra wide selfie, and then 4K 60 video. This phone did pretty good in the blind smartphone test, and it does pretty good in camera comparisons. I did a couple camera comparisons even with the S23 Ultra. It just does a fantastic job. I like Google's image processing that they do, and everything just always comes out looking top notch. And like I said, the video to me, I prefer taking video on this phone, honestly. I just like the way that it looks. It just looks a little more natural to me. The white balance isn't always off. My main issue with the iPhone, if you don't throw a ton of light at it, it's like the white balance is off and you get sort of like this weird gray look. The Galaxy does a little bit better, but Pixel for stills, and I like it for video as well too. So it's just a top tier camera phone, man. I think this year, because they did improve the video, but do I think the video overall, like the whole video experience, is it the best? No, I still think Galaxy iPhone does it better, but I'm saying this is such a complete package now because you get pretty good video and also top tier stills, if not the best stills you can get in any smartphone right now. So I really like that. Now the screen on the Pixel has been a pretty good experience. I really like the screen on here. It's a pretty big screen, 1440p LTPO AMOLED display, 120 Hz HDR10 plus, 1500 nits peak brightness. It does pretty well outdoors. It's very bright, and it's 6.7 inches, so it's a fairly big display. This phone is just easy to hold. Like I said, it's kind of a boxy phone, but it's not as boxy as something like the S23 Ultra. And yeah, it's got a slight curve to it as well too. But overall, I love the screen on here. It's big, it's bright, it's colorful. It's a beautiful display here. And I think I mentioned PPI. It is 512 for the PPI. So everything on this screen just looks super sharp, super vibrant this year. Like I said, and for a person with kind of smaller hands, this phone, like I said, it's kind of easy to hold, right? So I really love the screen on here. My experience with it has been fantastic. Now, what about the design on this phone here? Like I said, I've been really liking the design. I've been using this phone without a case, and I don't have many scratches. I think I have one little scratch right here. Like I have these tiny little, hair scratches. But so far it's held up pretty nicely. I try to take care of my phones here. But yeah, I just love the overall design. Pixel phones just have a very unique design where you see the back of this phone, it's a Pixel device just because of the camera bar. And I like that Google separated, or did little cutouts this year. Unlike, with the Pixel 6 Pro, this has little cutouts. And I really like that, and it's now it goes all the way around. So I just really like the design of this phone. I love looking at it. Like I said, the white color is very nice. It doesn't pick up fingerprints, even though this is a glossy back. And I think they should definitely do like matte finish for the Pixel 8 Pro. That would be pretty nice. But IP68 dust and water resistant, aluminum, glass and metal device. It's a very nice phone to hold. Like I said, not super sharp on the edges as well too. Alright, so I want to talk about the experience here with the software. So far, the Pixel software experience has been what you would expect, right? It's very fast, no bloatware, basically just your Google applications on here as well too. And overall, like I said, this is one of the smoothest devices that you can pick up. As far as like animation and stuff, it just feels buttery smooth, just bouncing back and forth. Now, unlike, you know, some other smartphones, this phone is very bland when it comes to additional features. So that's one thing I really like about One UI compared to stock Android. Like I said, I guess people with stock Android, they don't really care about all the extra stuff, but with One UI, there's so much, you know, additional features and stuff that you can play around with. But if you're just, you know, want to just use the phone, you want it to be smooth, right? This is like an extremely smooth experience. I'm telling you guys, ask anyone with a Pixel 6 Pro, 7 Pro, they're going to tell you that this phone is buttery smooth. Even compared to the latest phone, I'm talking about the iPhone, the Galaxy, it just feels really fluid and smooth. It's like the animations and frame rates. It's just something you got to play with. But yeah, so I overall love the Android experience. And remember guys, when you get a Pixel phone, you get the latest version of Android. You're the first person to get Android 14 when the betas come out, stuff like that. You get the experience first. So that's one thing that I really like about Pixel phones as well too. It's just very timely, speedy updates. Pixel 7 Pro speakers are pretty good, even comparing it to the 14 Pro, S23 Ultra. The speakers are still top notch on here. They're still super loud. It's one of the things I really like about this phone. Now, the Google Tensor chip is still plenty enough power for me. We got the Google Tensor G2 chip on here. So I think for the casual gamer, like myself, I'm not like a hardcore gamer, but you play a few games every now and then. This phone pretty much will play anything that you throw at it. PUBG still plays pretty good at HDR Extreme. And like I said, this phone doesn't get too warm. But like I said, in comparison to the iPhone and the Galaxy phones, right, with the Snapdragon and, you know, the Apple chip, this is gonna fall short in those benchmark tests that, you know, a lot of people watch. But like I said, if in the real world, just like casually gaming and stuff like that, this phone plays perfectly fine. Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite. Like I said, if you're a more hardcore gamer, obviously you're gonna go for something that is gonna perform better in those benchmarks for, you know, longer periods of gaming. But to get a couple games in, a couple matches in, this phone is perfectly fine. Like I said, it's still a flagship phone when it comes down to the chipset, right? It's just not gonna be as powerful. And I'll show you guys the Geekbench scores here, so you guys can see that is your Geekbench score. So one thing I'm always asked about is the fingerprint scanner. Guys, the fingerprint scanner is perfectly fine. Don't get me wrong, like, it works. It's an optical one. All I said was that it's not as fast as the Galaxy ones because it's optical. But as you can see, it works perfectly fine. You just have to apply a tiny bit of pressure, guys. And it's not even really like a lot of pressure. With the Galaxy phones, you could just tap it like that and it would go through. But with the Pixel, just a little bit of pressure, right? Which is perfectly fine. Also, if you just don't like the fingerprint scanner, they added Face Unlock as well too with this phone. So you know, you have that option as well. So I want to go ahead and talk about the battery experience on this guy. The battery experience has been phenomenal on this phone. And remember, I'm taking a lot of video and stuff like that too. So the battery experience, it has a 5,000 milliamp battery. You also have 23-watt wired charging and reverse wireless charging as well too. My battery experience has been great. I've never had this phone actually die on me. So this phone will last well over 6 hours of screen on time. It does a fantastic job in that area when it comes to battery life. So I do want to do a battery drain test with the 14 Pro and the S23 to see which one gets the best screen on time. But the Pixel does a fantastic job. So I just don't see this phone dying on anyone in a day. So if you do have the Pixel 7 Pro, let me know what's your screen on time, what kind of battery do you feel like you're getting, does it last all day? Other than that, this is a fantastic device. It's got a lot going for it with, I think, the top-notch best cameras. You also have an excellent display. It's very fast phone, very fluid, smooth, great software experience, great speakers. It's just a lot to like. I really like the improvements that Google did this year with this phone. And just with software updates, I can see it just getting better. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.